Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you strengthen us. We ask that you touch our hearts. Let us know that you are the one to rescue us, my child. I have not forgotten you. With the voice in our body, Father God, with the breath that we have left, if it's our last, we will say thank you. And we continue, each one of us in our own way, and as one, standing together, all on one accord. We know no other words to say, but thank you. And amen, amen, and amen.
On August 23rd of 2005, Hurricane Katrina hit, with highest winds up to 174 miles per hour. It was a Category 5 hurricane, and the leaves were designed for a Category 3, causing them to bust open. An estimated 80% of New Orleans was underwater, up to 20 feet deep in places. Hurricane Katrina affected over 15 million people in different ways. 1,836 people were killed from Hurricane Katrina, and 705 people are still missing today. After people heard about the hurricane, there was widespread panic, and many of them began to flee to a place called the Superdome. This man is a surviving witness to what actually happened at the Superdome.
I was there. Storms like Hurricane Katrina historically are rare. I was there. But we stood in very long lines, it was a desperate time. Can't let them forget, that's why I wrote these rhymes. A bottle of hot water, a ride almost started, shoved and pushed forward over food, a shortage, backed up, bathrooms and toilets drank, contaminated water out of the faucet, look up, what the? Locked up, asked a member of the National Guard, I said, why are we being held as prisoners of war? He responded, following orders, martial law. Understand, it felt more like Afghanistan and Iraq and not New Orleans. There were heroes of the storm and those of them that went too far. Pray for them, they too bear scars. Thank the Lord for the Air Force and the Coast Guard that flew helicopter and rescue missions non-stop. Got people and pets off of porches and rooftops. You may or may not even care. I was there.
The people that did not seek refuge were left at home to the elements of the storm, stuck on their rooftops, stuck in their attics, with the water slowly rising, and their panic turned to calling for help.
What could you hear in people's voices?
Fear, terror.
Operator Tina Berry Doyle spent 12 hours on the phone that night.
Could you imagine getting a call where someone is saying that they're trapped, there's no way out? And just stay on the phone with me because I know this is it.
And how did you handle that?
I prayed.
Pray for me, huh?
Oh, Sarah, I will pray. I will have to pray for everybody, even myself.
Many called for help, but few were heard, so they were left to wait, without food, without water.
We're being told to start preparing the patients that we were going to evacuate the hospital. So we went back and we put identifiers on all of the patients, and we just sat there and waited. In fact, I think the worst thing that happened during our whole experience was believing that our salvation was someone else's responsibility. And I don't need to tell you now, they didn't come Monday, they didn't come Tuesday, they didn't come Wednesday, they didn't come Thursday.
Rescuers did come. The Coast Guard saved 33,500 people, but many of these people didn't see themselves as heroes.
Oh boy. No, I don't feel like I'm a hero. People who have come before me, those are my heroes.
I guess, if you define heroism as doing usual things in unusual times, maybe in that sense it was heroic, but people were just doing what comes natural to them.
I can't believe that I'm getting paid to do what I love, and it's nursing. And on the day that I pass, on my deathbed, and on my grave, I want my family to put what my mother asked me on her deathbed: are you your brother's keeper? And I can say, yes, Ma, I am my brother's keeper. And if that makes me a hero, then I've done my job.
You may be asking now, what good came from this destruction, this death, this great sorrow? Well, let me leave you with this thought of brotherhood.
I think the real story of Hurricane Katrina was not the images that you saw on television. The real legacy is how this hurricane just peeled away all of that isolates us from each other and allowed for these human-to-human connections that are so unusual in contemporary society. And that was everywhere.